He's every bit of 350 pounds.
I'm bigger than that. A Texas doll was one that I really wanted to try and get this trip, so what a morning in the hill country of Texas. Since starting Giving Back TV, I've realized just how hard it is to be in the outdoor industry. What may look like a dream life from the outside comes with its fair share of obstacles and roadblocks. It means traveling hundreds of thousands of miles each year. It means being away from your home and loved ones for extended periods of time. It means learning to function with little or no sleep until you're at near exhaustion. We've dealt with dangerous individuals in the jungle, had close calls with wildlife, ended up in emergency rooms, and escaped death on more than one occasion. Despite all this, our fire and vision keeps pushing us forward time and time again. When people ask when we're going to hang this up, I always have the same answer. We're just getting started. So we're back in the great state of Texas. Down here this week with, my good friends Brian and Steve with Hammer Bullets. And we talked last year about coming back to Texas and maybe making this an annual event and doing kind of like a hammer trip. And so we're down here this week on a beautiful ranch, hunting a bunch of different exotics. I think the guys said they want to look for nilgai, axis deer, sika deer, black buck. There's a whole bunch of critters. So I think it's going to be a really fun week. The weather looks like it's going to be pretty decent. It's pretty chilly today, as you can see by the neck gaiter. But I'm excited. This place is supposed to have a lot of animals and should be a really good week. There are many hunting methods in Texas, from free-range spot and stalk to high-fence hunting over feeders. This week, we were hunting a gorgeous high-fence ranch, sitting in blinds, watching animals come in to feed. Now we understand this style of hunting isn't for everyone, but it's legal, and the money raised on these hunts with this particular outfitter helps fund Christian-based outdoor summer camps for kids from all over the country. The first afternoon, Brian and I got settled in, and it didn't take long before all kinds of animals were coming in. Aoudad, black buck, turkey, but Brian was there for nilgai. So we just had fun watching all these animals, patiently waiting for the number one animal on his list to show up. We saw lots of animals that day and were having a blast just watching them feed in and out. But finally, late in the afternoon, the one animal he came for finally showed up. It's definitely a bull. Yeah, I think we shoot him. I think so. Let me get this camera set up really quick here.
before I turn broadside.
Unless you think that'll bump right through the shoulder.
Oh, it'll go through it, not a problem.
If you're confident.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Stone D.
Didn't move.
Didn't move. Legs out.
We waited all afternoon for this.
Yeah, we've seen so many different animals. Tons of animals. And the buffalo's still standing there and doesn't know what's going on.
Stay tuned, folks. We might have bison on the ground pretty quick. Good shooting, buddy.
Thank you.
Not a minute after you said the Neil guy weren't in yet, they came in.
Right after.
Dude, that's a giant bull.
Wow.
Oh, he's every bit of 350 pounds.
He's bigger than that.
Sometimes I forget it. I think that's your bullet in his back.
That's what I'm thinking, he's at her exit hole. Because he was quartered hard.
I think that's your bullet right there. I'm telling you, when you hit him, I could hear it.
Wait. This is epic.
Oh, this is my baby here. I've raised him.
He
hangs out the house with us all night.
This is a mascot?
That's the mascot. He'll drink beer with you off the porch.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he's our buddy. He's a guide.
He's coming to check out what you got.
Yeah.
Gotta have the bullet.
I tell you what, I've never heard something hit.
So, hey Erin, that wasn't the bullet coming out the back.
Giving Back TV is brought to you by Hammer Bullets, City Motor Company, Huntech Pro, Canadi Elite Taxidermy Studio, Kenetrek Boots, Kifaru International, and True Flight Adventures.
The next morning, I got to hunt with Steve, and he said he was there looking for either a black buck or an axis deer. We got settled in, and it didn't take long before we had animals all over in front of us. You know, it's really a lot of fun on these hunts, just sitting and watching all the different species of animals that come in and out. That morning, Steve and I saw elk, we saw eland, we saw bison, fallow deer, we saw all kinds of critters. We were really enjoying all the action in front of us when suddenly a great black buck was working its way in.
Should we go look at him?
We should.
Okay, let's go check him out. Little buggers, aren't they? Look at that little guy, huh?
Gorgeous.
They're pretty, aren't they? What do you think of that?
Hammer time.
Hammer time. We got the 1, 2, 3.5 curls, huh?
Beautiful, man. Congrats, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
After Steve's successful hunt that morning, Brian and I headed to another stand location on a different part of the ranch. It was overlooking a big valley next to a pond, and we knew we were going to see a lot of different species that evening. Unfortunately, nothing showed up that we wanted to take, but it was still a great evening in Texas. That next morning, Steve and I headed back to the same blind that he took his black buck in. He said that today he was going to only look for a fallow deer or an axis deer, whichever presented itself first. Like normal, we saw a lot of animals that morning, and a really nice fallow buck did come in, but back in the trees we could see this herd of axis deer moving around. So Steve said he wanted to wait to see if there was a big buck in that group before taking this fallow deer. Steve made the right decision, because about an hour later those axis deer did feed into the opening, and there were two really good bucks in the herd. We now had to wait and hope one would present a shot to Steve. Just lift his head, right?
Yep.
Okay. This might be tough. But I am recording, so whenever you get a shot.
Okay, there's something else that just came in from behind the feeder. The white. This is the whitetail.
Yep.
we have an axis.
Good job, buddy.
That's such a cluster when they're in such a pile like that. With a day to spare?
We're not done yet.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, for the sake of film.
Good shooting, bud.
Thank you. Technically, we really should go behind him. If we can see that velvet, that'll be pretty cool.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
He's just starting to lose it.
He's wild. Gorgeous, man. Good shooting, too.
Giving Back would also like to thank the following partners:
The next morning, I decided to hunt by myself. I went back to that blind that Brian and I were in, overlooking that pond. It didn't take long before animals started filtering in and out, and I was having a blast just watching all the different critters out in front of me. I really wanted to wait and try for a Texas doll on this trip, as that's one animal I've yet to take down in Texas. Since I was hunting alone, I had to make sure that if the animal I was looking for came in, that I would get a good, ethical, clean shot, as well as get the camera on him and be recording all at the same time. After sitting for about an hour, a couple of Texas doll did make their way in with a couple of other sheep, but they never really presented a good shot to me. They were always filtering in and out of all the different animals, so I just had to be patient, hoping one of them would give me an opportunity before they fed off for the day. Unfortunately, those rams did end up feeding away, and they fed out to about 800 yards or so. They were kind of playing up on the hillside, dancing around the water, and I was really just enjoying watching them, thinking that my hunt was over. But then about an hour later, they decided to feed back in. I only had an hour left in the hunt, so I was hopeful I'd get a shot before my hunt ended. try and get the camera on me here. That was pretty cool. I had all those animals in this morning, and they took off. And a Texas doll was one that I really wanted to try and get this trip. So they came in, gave me a pretty close shot, actually. And he dropped in his tracks. The hammer bullet really did its job. These bullets have performed really good this trip, like they do all the trips. So, yeah, what a morning in the hill country of Texas.
All right. Man, pretty great morning in Texas. First Texas doll on the ground. Beautiful.
What a great way to end our annual trip in Texas. We took some nice trophies, we made some memories, and we were happy to help this outfitter with his youth camps, even in a small way. Thank you for watching this week, you guys. We'll see you next week on Giving Back.